History in the making. Army Ranger training is a 2-month program so grueling that just this spring, less than 10% of the nearly 400 male soldiers enrolled actually passed the course. 10%. But this week, for the first time ever, 2 women will graduate from Ranger School. Some of the physical and mental challenges they conquered: marathon foot marches, days of mountaineering, parachute jumps, 27 days of mock combat patrols. Really impressive stuff. Again, only 10% of the people who enter the training for the first time generally graduate. The history that is being made right now, though, does come with a twist. The women, while they passed Ranger training, they can't actually join a Ranger unit. Joining us to discuss this is Amber Smith, a retired U.S. Army helicopter pilot who has commanded combat missions in Iraq and Afghanistan. Amber, thank you so much for being with us. Let's talk first about this accomplishment, because it is history. This has never happened before.
Absolutely. I am so incredibly proud of these 2 women who made history when they passed Ranger School, one of the hardest and most demanding courses that is in the Army today, and they did so on their own accord, on their own merits. They went through every single step that the men went through, the exact same physical tests, and they made it through the peer evals, and they made it. So huge congratulations to them. Well deserved. Yeah,
they made it, which is the point. So why can't they join the Ranger unit then?
So what the military is still assessing is they have allowed the special operations unit, like Rangers, SEALs, other special operations units, to basically decide whether or not they think that the mission is acceptable, having women within the ranks, and they're allowed to sort of submit this waiver that they present to the Department of Defense, and then they make the overall decision whether or not they open the ranks to women or not, sort of towards the end of this year, early 2016.
So we don't know a lot about the 2 women here. We do know that they're West Point graduates, and we know that they completed this training, which frankly I don't think I could, or by the way, the vast majority of soldiers, male soldiers who enter, can. So do you think there should be any reservations to put these obviously 2 incredibly accomplished soldiers into the Ranger unit?
No, these 2 women that passed, they wanted to be there, and they worked the hardest that they have ever had to work in their lives to pass that course. And people need to recognize that. So often everyone gets so caught up in the physical strength capabilities, which is absolutely necessary. You have to have that physical strength, but there's also a huge component mental strength that requires to get yourself through that course. One part of Ranger School is peer evaluations, where if you are the weakest link within your team, you will be peered out. So the fact that these women, the men that they were serving next to, saw that they were there to complete the job and the mission just the way they were, and they respected them for it, and they passed because of it.
So you know, when we talk about women in combat situations, it's happening. It has happened. You've been there. You have been in combat situations. What are the considerations that should be taken into account going forward? As Leon Panetta, when he's defense secretary, said women really should be part of every combat unit insofar as it can't be proven that they shouldn't be there. But what considerations should be taken into account?
The number one thing that I believe in terms of moving forward with putting women in these combat arms units, these special operation ground units, they have to not even the slightest bit lower the standard. The standard has to be the exact same as the men. It has to maintain that mission standard. This is the physical standard that is required to meet the mission standard. So as soon as that's lowered, because some top Pentagon official wants to have women within the ranks and sort of create a quota, that's when problems are going to start. I don't think men in the military today are going to have any problem with women serving in those positions as long as they have worked just as hard as they have to get to those positions and pass the exact same tests.
Well, that's what happened this week. Amber Smith, thank you so much for being with us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.